What is a Souter's year?
A Souter's Year is basically a 12-month-long documentary looking at life in Selkirk and the valleys, everyday life, the events that happen, and the characters that populate Selkirk and the surrounding area.
What is it about Selkirk that makes it so special?
I think Selkirk's a community where everyone mucks in. I've been here 44 years, been made to feel very welcome, and you're not judged on who you are, you're judged on what you do in the community and for the community. And I honestly have never lived anywhere where there has been so many salts of the earth, people that go out of their way to help you. And that's come through in the Souter's Year documentary. I think it shows just what an incredibly vibrant and diverse place Selkirk is. Basically, it was following regular events like the common riding. We have a Scott Selkirk festival in October. Obviously, we had big armistice centenary celebrations this year, but also some of the characters that you don't hear about. And I think these days there isn't perhaps as much local news in local newspapers, so I thought it would be a good chance to try and release some of these stories. For instance, we had a local beekeeper that was giving up after 40 years, so I didn't know much about beekeeping, so we followed him on his last collection of honey, watching it getting spun, and that was really interesting. And also some of the things that people don't actually know go on in Selkirk, some of the quaint traditions that don't really get publicised. So I tried to go behind the scenes and speak to people, just let them tell their own stories, really.
And you had 12 months of the most extreme weather, from the extreme snow to the extreme heat.
Well, that was an absolute godsend because the snow was very picturesque in the winter. I mean, from a photography point of view, and then the summer was really lovely and sunny, and I got some great shots. We live in the most beautiful countryside around here, so it was great to see that. And everyone was so kind; they gave up their time and helped me and encouraged me. So yes, it's been a labour of love. Definitely.
Selkirk and the Borders are well known for fantastic scenery. What did we get to see that was your personal highlight?
Well, one of my highlights is actually Peter Forrest was the Royal Borough standard bearer, and obviously the horse has to be trained to carry the flag because they carry the flag around the marches on Common Riding Day. And I was lucky enough to go out with them for one of their flag carrying practices. And Peter keeps his horse at a farm called Smedhugh, just on the outskirts, in fact one of the common good farms in Selkirk. So I went out with him, and he went into the field and I set up, and he says, right, I'll just call the horse. And his horse is a lovely white mare called Lizzie, and he stood on a mound and shouted out, "Lizzie!" And this horse pricked its ears up right at the other side of the field and came walking and then galloping towards him. It was the most lovely image, and then he obviously got it, and then they went out on the ride. But I'll always remember that. That was just such a lovely moment in a nice evening sunshine to see this beautiful white horse just at the call of her name come over. That was lovely.
Yeah. And of course, it will appeal to people in Selkirk. It does present a view of Scotland as a whole.
Yes, definitely. The traditions, obviously the common riding is a huge part of the Selkirk makeup. And, Scotland, the bannock, the Selkirk bannock. I showed the local haggis maker, champion haggis maker, Darren Hogan, making his haggis, and then went to a burn supper to see John Nichol, another very good character in Selkirk. He addressed the haggis at the old folks' home, and it actually showed you how much the old folk and people are cared for, because Selkirk is a very caring community, and the old folk are involved in a lot of the ceremonies in the day-to-day life of the community. So it's really a story about just what makes Selkirk tick, and just to see this little community getting on with life and making sure that everyone in the local population is well looked after and valued.